Alright. Week 4 content. I almost didn't make this because there's just so little to say this week, but I got pinged and then I remembered I need to make predictions, so here I am, hopefully going to be rather short. It was a bit of a running theme this week with forfeits. 4 out of 7 series were forfeit. I don't know what happened with most of them. Wasted Idiots versus Will Gang was a forced forfeit due to Will Gang being late. Yeah. And the other three, I don't know. DC Clan may have dropped out because they're off the schedule now. So that may be in why that one happened. They forfeited to Vapor. But yeah, without further ado, we'll look at the games that actually got played. I don't actually have a lot to say about these games either, for better or worse. Paradox. So Paradox is also not on the schedule this week. I think this means their team is being removed from the tournament. I don't know. There hasn't been an announcement. I mentioned last week, I mentioned a few times in chat, and I mentioned on Gambit's stream that, like, was account sharing and that I thought the admins were going to do something. I was honestly kind of expecting for to get kicked, but it looks like the whole team may have just been yoinked off for at least this season. This team is also up to 2 Immortals now. I don't think that matters. I think that's allowed. But, whatever. Maybe they found out something else. Don't know. That makes this game a little pointless to look at, in my opinion anyway. I guess maybe it shows that Victoria's Secret isn't looking as strong as they could, because this game was very stompy. But I mean, that feels like it's almost expected. Like, your Divine won their lane. Your 2K Immortals obviously won their lane. They actually just won every lane. I think these numbers might be a bit high, because the Immortal rankings got all screwy, where they like removed a ton of people, so everyone gained like 800 ranks. Like a week ago, I think these guys were probably both like mid to high 3K or something. At least this one. Game 2, I don't think was that much closer. It definitely went on quite a bit longer. It doesn't look like Victoria's Secret ever really held a lead, though. They're against Arc Warden. Was here for this one. I don't think he was he here on the first one? Or she? Oh no, they were here both games. Yep. For some reason I thought they were that was last week they only played game 2. Yeah, once again, looks like they had a pretty good laning phase. Not a total win this time. I don't know. I don't have much to say, because talking about how Paradox is looking, I was originally thinking Paradox is looking really strong. Like, even if they were forced to replace they have these 2 Immortal players. They absolutely destroyed Victoria's Secret this week, but they appear to no longer be in the tournament based on the schedule. So yeah, I don't know. Very boring. Wrong button. I have to actually do the schedule up here. TBD. Paradox and DC Clan both given forfeit wins. These were all moved around too. These matchups used to be different a little bit. Who were they playing originally? I think this is the one. Yeah, Mad Max like changed a bunch of things. So whatever. Forfeit. Dumbledore versus Creature. This is of course my team. So I could say quite a bit about this game, but it is my team versus like our sister team that we scrim and stuff. So I'll be honest, for the sake of tryharding, I'm probably going to be a little light here, not go into detail. But I guess we could look over the picks a little bit. We picked Spirit Breaker. I picked a Timbersaw because I felt like it. I think H was joking when he said just pick me Timbersaw based on his reaction to me picking it. But it was done. They lost the lane to the Mars Phoenix. He was a lot of magic damage, couple DP rotations or something. This game wasn't like a total stomp, but it was pretty one-sided. I've been seeing a lot of Viper offlane recently. I think this is the first time we did it in a league game. It was definitely picked against us in a league game. The fact that Zero seems to be one of the better offlaners right now is very sad. Fuck Viper. Just go put him in the mid lane. Mid laners deserve Viper. Side laners don't. Polo end up on mid troll. Yeah, very cool, very cool. A lot of team fight versus like a lot of snowball, I guess, is kind of what happened here. We were able to snowball. Our troll is also pretty unkillable. Their burst is weak, and we have an Oracle. A late pick Oracle, too. I don't think they knew Stonks played Oracle. Frankly, I don't think Stonks knew Stonks played Oracle either. Given some of the things that happened with the first cast of certain spells. But I don't remember exactly what it was. It's some like fucking thing he didn't know. Game 2 was, I think, more stompy. I guess the kill score disagrees, but it felt more stompy from my perspective. With the Alchemist going absolutely ham. Let me show you his item build too. His item, the items that he has here don't do justice just how much money this man had. You see a 12-minute Radiance, and that's kind of whatever, right? But he actually bought a fucking Falcon Blade. So he had bracers, full treads, and a Falcon Blade, all before his 12-minute Radiance. This man was insanely rich. And we just weren't able to deal with him. My team will forever hate me for YOLO picking 5 Omni. But Gambit said he thought it was fine, so fuck him, to be honest. Yeah, big stomp. That's all I have to say about that one, really. Some experimental shit for both sides, I think. Since we kind of already know what each other do. Kind of just treated it a little like another scrim, slightly more seriously, I think. At least I kind of was. I think they were too. We tried our best, but picked some weird shit. Or some shit we hadn't picked in the past, at least. Lastly, Hellbear versus O's. Probably the most... in theory, this should have been the most interesting series. So I actually got to watch part of this, because as usual, Team O's played on Saturday. They're also playing us next week on Saturday, by the way. I'll talk about that more later. Game 1, Lethal Kittens just destroyed on offlane Viper. This hero is such cancer, dude. Hate people that pick offlane Viper, including my own offlaner. Fuck him. But yeah, very stompy. He kind of just almost 1v9'd. Ricky's almost a good hero. Also a good hero, I think I said almost. I've been seeing a lot of Ricky. Obviously saw it in my own series. It was first overall. Seeing it elsewhere too. Seeing it in AD2L, seeing it in pubs. It's like Hellbears have Ricky on their potential picks as well. Game 2, Viper banned by Team O's, Ricky banned by Hellbears because they picked a really early AM. So this is the game I saw more of. I honestly think... So they were missing Rock on Team O's, and I think maybe one other person, but I forgot who. Maybe it was just Rock. Yeah, I think it was just Rock. They got Prodigy for Rock. Is that what happened here? Yeah, let me double check. Oh, wrong button. Oh, wrong button again. Is JJ Pope the other person that was missing, or is this just a Zoom? Oh, no, there's Zoom. So is JJ... Is JJ Pope Virgulator? No. Wait, I swear I've seen Virgulator play with this team repeatedly. Is he not actually on the squad? Kirok? Check. Zoom? Check. Wait. Yorkin? Check. Right? Yeah. So Prodigy and Virgulator? One of them was standing in for Rock and the other was standing in for JJ Pope, I guess? Either way. I really thought that Team O's were going to win this game, watching the early game. So in the laning phase, the AM had an insane lane because the Earth Spirit just fed him repeatedly, for some reason. And even then, his mid game was very questionable. They were just able to track him down and kill him over and over again. Masters, he said he won mid, but he was just he wasn't able to do much. At least it didn't look like he was able to do much. If he showed, he just kind of died to all this burst. They have insane gank on this team. They were just running around the map, but it got really messy. They went from, it looked like they were running around the map making it so that Hellbears couldn't do anything, and then it kind of turned to them just like running around the map in packs of like 2 or 3 and losing fights under like T3s and shit. I wasn't paying a ton of attention, but I do wonder if Rock had a beaten here, assuming that's the person that normally does the shot calling, and if they had a bit more direction, if they would have just won. I feel like the draft from Hellbears is kind of weird. The early AM pick got countered really hard. It looked like they really got punished for it. The Ursa was also a massive like double whammy on beating Underlord in lane and countering AM. But they just kind of fell apart in the mid game, it looked like. So, yeah, I don't know. It was like an okay comeback from Hellbears, but they looked like they were in a lot of trouble. Which, given they're meant to be like the best team by far, and Team O's was missing their immortal captain, I think it's kind of like the movie line, "If it bleeds, we can kill it," kind of thing. I think it was a bit of a show of weakness from Hellbears, honestly, on this game. Not the series as a whole, obviously, because Game 1 was still a massive Viper stomp. Didn't even need Master Z in this game, to be honest. But yeah, so that's all the games that actually got played. I'll just move on to predictions. Oh, actually, I guess we could do tier lists first. Ah, right, because things have changed. So Paradox and DC Clan, I believe, are just out for the count. It really looks like they're just not in the tournament anymore. They're still on the participants list, but they're not on the schedule. So unless there's something weird going on, some like where like, I don't know, in PMs for some reason they both I cannot think of any reason this happened other than them like being removed. But I don't know, maybe there's something else. That does create a lot of blank spots here. I kind of have this weird ranking right now. I'm mostly happy with it. Coconuts is in a weird place where I don't know if Coconuts will ever be able to prove themselves, like, before playoffs. So they played Wards and Base, they've played Anti-Kithra, and now they're playing Grin, which are like easily the worst teams. I'm moving Wards and Base down one actually, because I mean they didn't lose per se, but they have 2 wins now. The team they're gonna face first round is gonna be very difficult. I guess we don't know if it's single elim or double elim. Maybe in double elim they have more of a chance to pull it back. But right now it looks like they may just like go out round 1. Because even if they can like bolster up some strength and perform better in playoffs, if they have to play like one of the really good teams, like if they have to play WSS or O's in the very first week, I don't think there's any coming back from that. Like you'd have to massively overperform week 1, unless it's double elim. Like if they were playing a mid-tier team, then maybe they'd have a better chance. But right now they kind of look wrecked. Oh, whoops. I've ruined my sheet. Alright. So what else are we going to do here? Wilgang didn't get to play because they got FF'd. Victoria's Secret didn't show well, but they were against a potentially cheating, well, a team that definitely cheated. I don't know how much, I guess. I don't know how much it mattered, because I think Paradox was still fine in terms of overall strength. But they got dumpstered. I don't really want to move them down, though, because I have just a ton of teams down here. We'll start moving people up. How about that? I think I stand by Wilgang looking pretty good. I'm going to move Victoria's Secret down with Vapor. Vapor, they got the FF loss, right? No, they got the FF win. That's right. Vapor hasn't played in a while, though. I looked at their Dota buff. They were playing in like 3 different leagues. They were playing AD2L Masters, this one, and then another one I already forgot the name of. And they haven't played in like 2 weeks, which combined with the fact that they had like a seemingly really last-minute change of personnel, I do wonder what's going on over there. I hope they haven't disbanded, but I don't know. Maybe it's weird. They haven't played in a while, so. I didn't think they looked crazy strong on paper, and the fact that they've just stopped playing. I guess 2 weeks, it's kind of been New Year's and Christmas, hasn't it? Let's look again. They still only have 4 people on the site, for some reason. Esports profile. Okay, they have started playing again. In D2E. Who's actually on their team, though? Toro, this guy. Okay, so is this their new player, or is this the person that played with them in previous weeks as well? Yes, this person has been playing with them for a while, looks like. Oh, wait, Charbs is back, though. They had a different guy. Is Charbs actually on the roster? Oh, yeah, Katusha is actually on this one. Wait, is Charbs on the roster or not? Maybe they... This is weird. I have no idea what's going on with this team. Whatever, they can stay in C tier. I guess I'll move the idiot teams up a little bit because it's getting crowded down here. Okay, so, alright, here's my logic here. A lot of teams went 1-1 with Dumbledore. But I went 1-1 with Dumbledore, and I play pubs with Dumbledore. So I'm different to those teams, and thus I'm going to give myself the honorary wizard title. I'm going to put idiots back in F tier, because even though they've forfeited their way to second place, they have still forfeited their way to second place. Like, they are at second place. And I feel like that's something, right? Like, you could say, oh, they don't deserve it because they didn't actually win any games. But the fact they've managed to get 4 forfeit victories is still impressive, so we'll bump them up a little bit. Maybe we'll change this from bad to, like, dead. It's more accurate now. Alright, and then this is what we have. Team O's almost took a game off of WSSS. They can stay here. Wizard and Wizard Associate. Coconuts and Wilgang. Despite the fact they're both 4 wins, I don't care. They're good on paper. It's been such a weird group stage. Because, like, I said early on, I said in, like, the first video or the second video, it feels like there's a really distinct gap. Like, there's some teams that just look way worse than the others. And some teams have gotten to play those teams, and others haven't. And yeah, so I don't know. It's been a bit weird. Also, Wilgang only actually playing 2 series so far. Like, they had a bye win and an FF loss. So they've basically only gone 2-2, and those 2 losses were to the Hellbears. So, like, they've basically played 1 series, honestly. It's like, it's no idea what this team is like, or what they pick. It's a mystery. So, we'll settle with this rearrangement for now. We'll move on to predictions. Week 5, 1 less series than before. Myself versus Team O's? How much? I have a lot of faith, to be honest. Team O seems to use a different stand-in every week. I consider that to be a weakness. And I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good right now, to be honest. I'm liking the new patch. I'm actually playing Dota again. I'm going to be cocky, give myself a 2-0. Gwyneth the Earl versus Coconuts Gaming. Let's not joke. Coconuts Gaming, easy 2-0, almost undoubtedly. So the logical take here is to give WSS 2 wins. But I feel like as the CEO and owner of Wasted, I will make the cocky prediction, the hot take, that Wasted Idiots will forfeit 1 game off of WSS. Because that does seem to be how they seem to win. So we'll stick with the forfeit strategy and assume they can somehow get 1 game off. Vapor versus Dumbledore. Man. I kind of already said my piece about Vapor. I don't think they're crazy impressive. Honestly, the teams that are on... I think these teams, like... okay, maybe not those. Maybe not Hellbears, but I think any of these teams, even though I've kind of ranked them separately, and I do think these rankings mean something. I think there's like a slight difference here. But I think it's close enough that it's entirely possible a game is taken off of anyone. And so I'm going to say 2-0 for Dumbledore, but I would not be surprised by a 1-1, just because I think the teams are relatively close. There's like these teams at the bottom that are just a lot worse than the rest. But otherwise, these are fairly close. Which is part of why I think, as I said before, the season seems weird in terms of like the power structure and how results have gone. So yeah, if Vapor 2-0, then I'll be surprised. Then that would mean a significant reshuffling of the tier list, I think. But if it's a 1-1, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to put 2-0, though. because we're going to have a lot of hot takes. But not here. This one's not. Unless Wilgang manages to show up like late again, I think it's just a 2-0. It's also possible that Antikythera doesn't show up. They forfeited last week. If they choose to forfeit again this week, I think... Are they out? No. There actually hasn't been that many forfeits, right? Yeah, there really hasn't been many forfeits, because there was a not preemptive, the opposite of preemptive. There was a retroactive forfeit here. And then I think the rest have been played. So if they forfeit week 6, then they wouldn't be eligible for playoffs, because I think 3 forfeits and you're out. And if they forfeit this week, then they probably just want to leave anyway. They've had a rough time. They're expected to have a rough time. Really shouldn't have been. They should have been given an exception, put in lower div. But I have seen the legend div and how they throw massive temper tantrums over people they think are too good. Seems that Ancient is only slightly better in that regard. So whatever. I understand the admins not wanting to cause any drama, but it does suck for Antikythera. They're probably going to get 2-0, or get 2-0. I mean, Secret versus Wards and Base. This I instinctively just say 2-0 for Victoria's Secret. Wards and Base just have not really pulled anything out at all this season. But it is possible. I mean, Victoria's Secret did lose pretty hard last week. They only have 3 wins. I thought very highly of this team at first, and I still have them ranked. I mean, not actually that high anymore, but above these guys. And I do think there's a significant gap between C and F. So, I stick with 2-0, but if I'm wrong here, if Wards and Base does manage to take a game or even a 2-0 against Victoria's Secret, I am going to have to rethink some things, because that either means Victoria's Secret is one of these F tier teams, or it means that Wards and Base is not as bad as I thought and is actually C tier. So we'll see what happens there. I think in terms of my own personal interest, Vapor and Wards and Base, the Wards and Base Victoria's Secret and the Vapor Dumbledore series are probably the ones I'm most interested in looking at in terms of changing up my power ranking tier list thing. In terms of just the good teams playing each other, I guess my own series is probably the most interesting. Idiots and Hellbears, despite being the 1-2 teams, probably gonna be a stomp. Assuming that Idiots can't get a forfeit win, I think that game's not going to be very interesting. I'll watch it anyway, of course, because they're my boys. But I think the second place, the 5-5 team fight, is probably going to be a wee bit more interesting. I kind of wanted to watch Vapor Dumbledore too. I guess I'm going to have to decide Thursday night, because, as I kind of began mentioning earlier, my game is going to be on Saturday, if anyone wants to watch. I don't know if other people watch. I like watching other games if I can, but yeah, so I'll watch one of these on Thursday. I'll try and cast it. My internet's been total dog shit recently, though, so I don't know if I'll be able to cast necessarily. I don't even know if I'll be able to play on Saturday, actually. I really hope I can get this shit sorted out, but that's enough rambling from me. I'll see y'all next week, hopefully with less forfeits.